Well, potties.
No, don't try to make it a thing.
Thank you for being here. As much as I'm laughing, I'm also in the feels. No surprise.
And I remember like every single moment of that day, the smells, the conversations about American Idol in the waiting room as I knew I was going in to have my pregnancy ended. I'm so angry that women don't get to choose how to protect their children, how to not have children, how to have children, because that choice, I think it saved my life.
Welcome to Heart and Head Work, where genius smacks you in the face because of yours truly,
Tessa Arneson
and Rocky Donati, the two voices of mad genius behind the microphone, who quite earlier were saying, you guys can be our potties. Fuck, that sounds terrible.
I think that's amazing. Poddies.
I think they understand.
Potty like a rock star. I can keep going. This is going to be a good one.
This episode or this phrase, because I never want to hear potty ever again.
I am going to keep saying
Bathroom
it.
stuff makes me uncomfortable.
It's not.
My family used to like
it's potty, not potty.
I get it. This is the thing with puns. Typically they are understood, but the question of whether they are good or bad is what we are debating.
Oh no, that is good.
No, it's worse than a dad joke. But
aren't you so glad? Do you think anyone's still here? Should we start? Is this it?
Honestly, I don't want to say I don't care if they're not here, but it won't make a difference because we're going to keep recording. Because apparently I like the sound of my own voice.
True.
Yeah. I listened to our podcast multiple times.
Well, potties.
No, don't try to make it a thing.
Thank you for being here. No.
Did you ever see Never Been Kissed?
No.
That's so Rufus. Stop trying to make it a thing. Or Fetch.
Oh, yeah. Well, thanks for being here, potties. Yeah, okay. I appreciate you.
You're so pleased with yourself.
This is my pleased face.
Let's transition, shall we?
Okay, let's transition.
Tell me how you're doing today so that the people can hear how you're doing today so that they don't focus on your terrible pun.
Well, as much as I'm laughing, I'm also in the feels. No surprise.
Are you masking with laughter like yours truly tends to do?
Yes.
I'm really good at it. You also just showed up really good at it.
Yeah.
Fist bump. We are so good.
I feel like I don't usually do that, but that is interesting. I just did. We just had a really, really amazing guest on that Ali Vallarta CityCast. Gosh, it was like, she's fucking cool. And she is also doing some really important work for the Utah Abortion Fund. And it just got me really thinking about my own experience with abortion. And that's when I got into the feels. And so that's where I'm at. And I'm trying to stay with them and to that little younger version of myself that went through that and what that was like for her. And now 10 plus years later, what it's like in the world now.
I don't know why when you were like this little version of yourself, I somehow was like, you can't be a 30-something-year-old little version of yourself. Mm-hmm. And I don't know why that's what came up in my brain, but that is what my brain was saying. Like, yeah, we don't speak to the 30-year-old version of Rocky in the voice we would, like you just mentioned. That tends to take us way back. Mm-hmm. And I always find it easier to talk to my littlest version.
Fair.
With that. But I am also struggling, or not necessarily also, because I don't think that's what you were saying, but it made me think of I am struggling to talk to my 30-year-old version or older versions of myself with the same kind of tenderness. Mm-hmm. Or so I like that you said that.
Yeah, younger versions of ourselves.
That's still a younger version.
Yeah, I mean, it was me pre-mom, really, really wanting to be a mom. I wanted to be a mom so bad, and my body wasn't. I guess at that time I thought it wasn't performing as I always suspected bodies should perform as a woman.
Yeah, being what? That
I could not get pregnant. And this particular time I could get pregnant and then found out that the baby was not going to survive. So chose to get a medically induced abortion. And I was so grateful and so lucky that my really, really awesome doctor, who has since retired, when I saw her for the news that yes, this is a baby that's not going to survive, she said, you could go home and let this baby pass naturally at your home, or we could do a procedure later on today and you could have an abortion. And I immediately jumped to, I would like to have an abortion.
What's striking me, of course, is so many different things, but one of them is you had to make that decision the same day. Essentially, I mean, like that is not
That's
that you were
true.
necessarily rushed, but you actually made the decision, not just same day, but you went with your gut on it, obviously, by saying, yes, I'm into it.
Yeah, I just knew this baby, if there was some version that this baby was in pain, it was really early. It was 10 weeks. So really early. If there was some version of like pain or suffering or anything that I could gift my child, an end to that, it was such an automatic yes. I want to. And I was so grateful for her offering that to me. So it was yes, automatically, yes, yes.
This is what I imagine, not being a mother myself, but that's motherly love. That even women being not yet having had the child, but the ability to tap into that, like clearly very natural instinct that we have to just be totally selfless and do whatever we can. And our intuition speaks so loudly in those moments.
Yeah, it was so loud, and I was so hurt and so angry. And I remember like every single moment of that day, the smells, the conversations about American Idol in the waiting room as I knew I was going in to have my pregnancy ended. And I'm so grateful for that amazing doctor and my amazing husband who held my hand at the whole way through. And as I was leaving, I was so angry. And I was like, I don't think I can do this again. And he said, I think we should try one more time. And so now, like 10 years later, with 2 children of my own, 2 baby girls, and the baby that I lost, he was a boy. His name was Samuel. I'm so angry that women don't get to choose how to protect their children, how to not have children, how to have children, and that choice is being taken away from them. I don't think it's fair, because that choice, I think it saved my life, and I think it allowed us to heal faster. If I would have had to wait 2 to 5 weeks for that baby I knew was going to die, it just gave me that much of a jump start on healing. And so I'm fucking pissed. I'm pissed that the Utah Abortion Fund has to exist. I'm pissed that women don't get to make their choice.
And I know that the audience doesn't necessarily know that you had been trying to have children up until this point. This was not, that you had already had kids and you were like, this was a miracle in and of itself, that after all of this length of time. Do you want to tell everybody who's listening a little bit about that for context? Because I won't be able to speak to it as well.
Yeah, I think as a younger woman, I wasn't sure I wanted to have kids. And then I was just gobsmacked when I held 2 of my best friend's baby girls in my arms. And they were born just a couple months apart. And I went home and was like, get on board, baby. Husband.
It's baby making time.
I want to have a baby. And he was like, fuck, okay. And he really got on board, and it just didn't happen for us. And we went through the tests and we went through the things, and
it did happen after about a year. This took a year to get to this moment. And then we lost this baby. And then it took another year with fertility help and drugs and shots in your butt and crying and emotions and weird hormones in your system to get pregnant with my oldest daughter, who I feel like the whole thing was a great lesson of patience and timing, and the fact that I actually could stand alone, but with an army of people next to me too, to get to the other side. And the understanding that for me, this was my path. And I'm a really good mom because of it, because I had to lose one that I never got to meet except for my dreams.
I know. I remember you telling me that you got to meet him. And didn't he say something important to you?
Mm-hmm. I think it's interesting that you bring that up. Like, I've never thought that maybe his whole purpose was not just to like make me a better parent, but he said to me, I am you and you are me. And if you think I'm miraculous, then you must be miraculous too.
Not just as a mom. Just as a human.
Mm-hmm. And I never thought that maybe that was what he was here to teach me. So thank you.
I think because we often think of the roles that our souls play as so literal, right? That in this family system, you have a son and you are the mother. And so therefore what he teaches you or what you teach him and vice versa is within the constraints of that role. So he must be teaching you that you're a great mom.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that beautiful idea that if our souls are not in one dance, but multiple dances, and we move around these circles of different souls in multitude of ways, that system gets bigger and you're just two souls, not just mother and son and mother, but.
And that we're all one. I am you and you are me.
Yeah, I remember you telling me about that for what he said. And I was just like, of course, this baby essentially is smarter than all of us. Because I don't know if you've heard this. I don't want to call it a theory because that kind of diminishes it, but like a belief or an idea that babies who do not make it all the way through into this world are souls that already figured out what they needed to figure out. And that's why they don't need to breathe this oxygen.
Yeah, that's sweet.
That they're so pure and so transcendent that they've already gotten to that point. And so their soul just goes back into the
Yeah, I
ether.
think that's a little bit of the language I use around with my kiddos when we talk about him, is that like he is watching over them, and that's his path this time around. His role is to keep them safe. Thank you. I love you. Wow. That was quite the intro.
I know. You know how you talk about like, I wish our guests will feel comfortable going in deep. And then here you are 3 seconds in.
All right, potties.
It's the beauty of your vulnerability.
Yeah, so go give some money to Utah Abortion Fund. For real. Because fuck those motherfuckers that taken away our body autonomy. So thank you. Thanks for that beautiful opening, Rock.
I didn't even do anything.
Yes, you did.
You did the whole opening, but you're welcome. You led yourself right into this nice and easy.
Wow.
Good job. We are good dogs. Good job.
Wow, is it too late for me to say How are you today? That's interesting. I'm crying through my laughter. So back to your original statement of, am I hiding behind my laughter?
I'm just really good at making other people feel good.
Okay,
Yeah,
right.
that's what this is.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Cheers. I think also too, what's crazy is remember in sex ed when we were basically taught that when you have sex, you will get pregnant.
Yeah.
There is no
Religion teaches you that. Lots of places. Well, maybe not for you all out there, but we are babies of the 90s.
yeah
And
Dare.
and 80s.
the dare children generation.
Yes.
Drugs
So that
against
was what-
something. Drug and resistance education. Fuck, it didn't work. Sorry.
I actually
Too. What's
was
her name?
the speech giver in 5th grade. At the end of the program to the whole school, I read
Don't
my
do
dare.
drugs. I think that's crazy, right? Is that we are taught this idea that instantaneously we as women will get pregnant. And obviously that's a fear tactic to try to scare us from having sex. And we don't have to go get into like the education of abstinence as a methodology for training, which is a system I fucking hate.
Shame.
Yeah, but it's built on fear and shame and all of this stuff. And so I think that additive is what is so hard for women who are struggling with fertility, because we are under this impression that you just have sex once and then
And some
boom.
people do, right? Some people really
absolutely
do. It happens.
You know how many times I've had sex without a condom or birth control or anything and I've never gotten pregnant?
Oh no, I'm scared. I'm scared of this number.
I'm going to tell you it's countless times. I can't even keep track of it. Not that I'm proud of my quote unquote irresponsibility in some ways, but it just, I think actually, now that I'm saying it out loud, I think something in me was telling me that the system is flawed, the messaging is flawed. And because I love to do this, I was like, fuck this system. If I'm told I have to do X, Y, and Z, I'm going to do the exact opposite because I do love a good extremist moment. And the irony of it was basically proof that I never got pregnant, never had anything transpire from it. It was just like, oh yeah, you can have basically free love and it's cool. You'll get pregnant if and when you're supposed to get pregnant.
yeah.
No, but this idea that, you know, I think what it taught me in retrospect is I wasn't supposed to get pregnant. That I feel like is actually the message that in theory, it wasn't just one time I had sex without protection. It was multiple times and yet it never happened. And there is no worse timing than someone going like, Tessa, you didn't have children because you weren't supposed to have children. Like that's a conversation's going to go really, really poorly. I've almost had it a couple times because I was a younger idiot. And that wasn't what I intended. It was more so this idea of like, you know, things happen to us during times when that master plan or that divine timing sometimes happens. And like we can go after things too. We have that choice as well. But it's interesting to look at the moments of if you had talked to my 18-year-old self winning pageants and answering questions about what are you going to do about your future?
It would have been children,
Babies,
babies.
family. I'm going to be a mathematics teacher in my hometown. Look how far the apple has come from the tree, Eve.
I think this is such an interesting topic because we lead different. You chose not to have kids. I chose to have kids. But it was a choice.
Yes.
And I think that's what we're getting at with these two different paths of our life is that we had that choice. And I'm fucking pissed that other people don't get to have that choice. Other women, I think it keeps us under a thumb, poor and unwilling and out of power.
I was having a conversation with someone and afterwards they were like, how did the conversation make you feel? And I was like, I was just like so annoyed at her. And the reality is I'm not actually annoyed at this human. I am annoyed by whatever they're bringing up. I feel annoyance because something they said triggered something. And when you're saying like, I'm so angry that this system exists, almost like, I don't even want to say it out loud. I have actually had so many instances where I'm angry at the woman I'm speaking to for not thinking or acknowledging or feeling as though they have autonomy. And it's like an interesting thing because, of course, I'm not actually mad at them. I have the awareness to be able to step back and say, well, I'm angry at something else. It's just they triggered this emotion. And I think what it is that I am also angry at the system. I am angry that a woman questions her bodily autonomy. I am angry at the fact that a woman feels as though she does not have choice because she has been born into something and cultivated by something that gives her that belief system. And nothing infuriates me more because just because we're a woman doesn't mean we don't have choice.
And I mean, this tracks, right, for both of us to be pissed about this.
Totally.
Because we wake up every day fighting for women's equality.
This is my flaming sword of injustice.
Blake, we're listening to you.
My pussy is my power.
Yes. We're pissed about that.
Yeah.
We want women to be able to build the lives they want to build. And so for someone to tell us or influence us or to take that away,
How fucking
if that
dare they?
experience would have happened to me now, today, I couldn't gift that to my son. I couldn't gift that. What in my mind was like, I want the healing to start, and I want, if there's any possible suffering, to end for this little soul. And that's something that I should be able to choose. It's something you should be able to choose. If you want to change your mind after being a beauty pageant winner,
Multiple
times and paying your way through college by beauty pageants.
But they used to call it scholarship funds, just to like hide the obvious.
Yeah. And your answer has now changed that is not what you want to do with your life and your time. You, my darling, should be fucking allowed to do that.
Isn't it crazy though how much pushback we can get? I mean, not even necessarily from strangers, but also from people closest to you when you do have these formations or transformations and changes that happen. Like, well, but I thought you wanted to be, but remember how you said you wanted to? It also pisses me off because what the fuck? You expect me to be the same thing I was 5 minutes ago?
Yeah.
No, it's certainly not going to be the same thing I was 20 years ago, 25 years ago, and et cetera. But I mean, again, we have this system where women changing, actually humans, I think changing is a discomfort for us.
I think the power structure changing is the fear, is the fear that's happening. So there's this like press down of, if we can keep women small, if we can keep women.
Did someone make you feel small after you had your abortion?
There was, I did get a call so where we stopped in the story, I had extreme postpartum, which I didn't know you could have post-abortion, because when you are first pregnant, your hormone, and you do this like hormone count kind of, they test your levels. They're at the highest of your entire pregnancy right in the beginning. And then as long as they keep climbing to a certain degree, that's a good sign. And if they drop, it's not a good sign. So when you have a miscarriage or an abortion, well, they're one and the same, then your levels drop really fast. And so your hormones go whack, like it's a roller coaster. So 1 minute your body thinks it's pregnant, and then boom, the next minute you're the Sahara and you have no hormones left. And so then your body's trying to find its homeostasis again. And I took a really deep, dark dive emotionally and had suicide ideation, probably should have been in a padded room, cried every day on the couch, wore black glasses, probably, didn't eat for a really long time. And a couple weeks in, or maybe like a month after, I got a call from a woman at the hospital that it wasn't really at the hospital, it was like with the insurance company. Yeah. So like connected to the hospital, but insurance. And they said, I'm just calling to confirm your elective abortion. And I absolutely lost my mind on this woman because it wasn't fucking like for her to And mind you, she's just a person in a call center without the education.
Gets you also to learn a lesson.
Yeah. And
What
I
is
was
this
like, what do you
lesson?
mean it's not fucking elective? Do you think I wanted this? I wanted that baby more than anything I've ever wanted in my entire life. And I just absolutely lost it on
At her?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Crying, probably screaming about, and she, you know, she kind of like battled me a bit.
Oh,
So I was asking to speak to her manager, and but like upon reflection, it was just like me in the deepest, darkest hole.
yeah. You're just working through what you're working through.
I'm working through what I'm working through, and pissed again at the system that it's called an elective abortion. Because I didn't want to do that, but I felt like it was a gift that I needed to do. So the word elective really pissed me off. So yes, I felt small, but
I
I
appreciate
felt big.
that context, because elective without that context, I'm like, I can't imagine a world in which you'd be upset, because elective just means like you had the choice. This wasn't necessarily something that was going to, you know, result in your harm if you were to continue. But then, of course, with the context, I'm like, yeah, actually, we should probably think about that language, because it probably wasn't designed by somebody who went through that to know that it would be a pain point.
Yeah, they call women over 35 that have babies geriatric
Yeah, that's fucking
pregnancy.
absurd.
And like that pissed me off too, because I'm like, what the fuck? I'm just trying to have, like, I'm not that. And it just made me so mad. And it's just like these little things within, I think it can get so commonplace for people within the medical system or within any of our, you know, systems, that they forget that there's a human behind them, that I was going through the deepest grief I'd ever experienced.
This transition will go briefly to my dog. I remember we moved here from San Francisco, and I had Dimitri. And as soon as we moved,
the dog that shall never be compared to.
Never be
This is the
compared
favorite
to.
dog, right?
Favorite dog. He's the best little dog.
I know we love Archer and Nikita, but
I mean,
can you?
Dimitri was around for a really long
the
time.
OG,
Yeah, he was like 15, 16 years old. And what was crazy is when we moved here, he was always already very old. He was 16, and he started having seizures. But what I didn't know was that he had actually had a stroke. And so these seizures were causing him to like do circles. And at the time, I was so dependent on that dog for a multitude of reasons. He had been with me for 16 years. He had been through different breakups and heartache. And anybody who owns a dog knows that they're animals who just know when you need them, and they show up unconditionally. And so we took him in to a new vet because I was new to the area, and I didn't have a lot of research done. And when they told me what had happened, the woman who was there to be the nurse, essentially, I can't think of a tech, had said, you know, it's really shameful to see you treat this dog this way. He should have been put down months ago, and you're threatening his quality of life, and you should be ashamed of yourself. And I remember Gianni was in the room, my husband, and this woman was already on her way out, but he was, you know, standing up and ready to be like, get the fuck out of the room. Because I just broke down, and I was like, now I can't make a decision about whether or not to put my dog down or continue because maybe she's wrong. And so it just distorted this entire decision-making process, because clearly I was a trigger for her that made her feel a certain way, which we can all probably relate to, that dogs are incredible and to watch them suffer is hard. And yet there was no moment where she may have, not that she wouldn't have thought, but I didn't get a moment from somebody in that room to give me I know this is really hard. You will make the best decision. Let us know what that is.
Yeah.
That human touch that would have just changed everything. And I let him live for a few more days because I couldn't wrap my brain around the answer. I couldn't tap into my intuition. And he suffered immensely. And it was like the hardest 3 days to watch this dog suffer. And it could, in theory, have just been a human touch would have reduced all of that and given me the bravery that you had, or the intuitive notion to say, let's do it now, because now will be what's best for him. And we have systems not designed to do that. So when we find them, when we find great doctors like your doctor, when we find incredible people that show up and go, so I can't tell you the answer, but you already know the answer.
So sweet. And I never want you to apologize for bringing up dog stories when I'm talking about motherhood, because
I know, because it's my motherhood, but I don't want to diminish. I don't want to diminish the human stuff.
No, it's still,
but it is my version.
It's still all heart. Yeah. Thank you. R.I.P. Dimitri.
Sammy. We'll pour one out for our homies. I don't actually want to pour on our floor because it's a nice floor and then our cleaners have to do extra work. So just stay there.
Thanks.
Pouring one out for my homies.
Okay. Thank you
because
so
I
much.
use comedy to mask.
Yeah,
and now
there we are.
Now I'm out.
Okay, so that was hard. And
I know, I almost cried.
You really did. Thank you. Thank you for holding my hand. Thank you for listening, people that made it to the end of that.
Yeah. Thanks for letting us every once in a while just sit on this couch and
process.
Yeah. Do our own inner work.
Soul conversation, as our beautiful producer Laura told us to have. And I do keep thinking the message I keep getting with these conversations and the work that we're doing here at MAVEN is you cannot heal others until you've healed your own broken heart. And so this is a piece of healing my own broken heart.
And then also that real estate is a cover. And really, we're just here to do the inner work.
Yes.
Fuck yeah.
Thanks, partner. Love you.
Thanks. Love you too.
See you next time, y'all.